Hey there, welcome back to the Happy Homestead. I'm Amanda, and today we're going to do our second episode of our 3 homestead dinners. And this is where I take you along, show you on 3 dinners I make through the week, and maybe provide you some new inspiration. I know I get inspired by doing this, and so I'm trying new recipes again, but ones that I'm really excited about. So tonight we're going meatless. We try to go meatless 1 to 2 times per week for a variety of reasons. I would say the biggest reason is because I want to vary my family's palate. I don't want them to expect an animal protein at every meal. It can get costly that way too. But there's plenty of great plant source proteins that are available. And so one of our favorites, or maybe it's one of my favorites, my family just is along for the ride, is tempeh. And so I purchased this tempeh on my last Azure order. And this is the Tofurky brand of tempeh. It's 5 grain. So it's a great source of fiber and some protein. And so tempeh is a fermented food. And so it's also really beneficial for you in that way. So we are going to cook some tempeh today, and we are going to be having an Asian themed dinner, and we're going to be having like a marinated spicy peanut tempeh with some fried rice and some wontons, and I'm going to throw in some kale somewhere in there, maybe in the fried rice. So that's what's for dinner tonight. So I'm going to get the tempeh started this morning. It's still only 9 a.m. I'm just doing this step so I can get it marinated in the refrigerator all day while I'm working. So tempeh, if you've never had it, can be pretty bitter if you're not familiar with it. And so I have a pan on the stove here, show you in just a sec, with 1 inch of water that I'm going to bring up to a low boil. And I am going to I have 2 packages of tempeh here. I'm going to put both of them in, and I'm just going to let them sit in that water, that boiling water, for about 10 minutes. And halfway through, I'm going to flip them. And then when they're done, I'll take them out, dry them off, slice them up, and then we're gonna put them in our marinade. So while they're boiling, we'll make our Asian peanut spicy marinade. This recipe, I will link it below. It is not one that I've created myself. It is from Minimalist Baker, and that website is full of really great vegan or vegetarian recipes. She's one of my favorites. And so, like I said, I'll post it down below. But it just needs sesame oil, peanut butter, tamari or coconut aminos is which I'm going to use, lime juice, and maple syrup. And so we're just going to marinate everything in there, and then we'll saute it up later today. Okay, it's at a low boil. I'm going to put these in and start my timer. Again, about 5 minutes on each side. I'm not cutting them up yet. Alright, so let's get our marinade going while that is cooking. We're going to have some, and you'll see the recipe online, and you'll see that I'm just kind of winging it. I'm not putting a whole lot of chili peppers in because I need my family to eat this, but some chili pepper. I'm going to do 3 tablespoons of sesame oil. And by the way, guys, I'm also doubling this recipe because I have 2 8-ounce packages of tempeh. 4 tablespoons peanut butter. And then if there's any marinade left over, we'll use that as a sauce for when we're cooking it. 4 tablespoons either tamari, soy sauce, or coconut aminos. Your choice. 4 tablespoons lime juice. I'm just gonna juice 2 limes here. For those of you, you may not know, I have been a vegetarian, and sometimes a vegan, depending, for most of my life. It is only really in the past 2 years that I had gone back to animal-based products. And there's a few reasons, but I would say one of the bigger reasons is that I found myself buying and eating and consuming, right, those fake meats, the Beyond Burgers, the soy chicken nuggets, you know, those kinds of things. And I just, I shudder at the thought of it right now, because while they gave me a great replacement, 6 tablespoons maple syrup, I felt like over time I realized I was not doing my body any good. It was so unhealthy for me. Those foods are so processed, and they're meant to be good replacements if someone's transitioning into a plant-based lifestyle, but they are not meant to be consumed regularly. They're just not. And so I found myself deciding that, you know what, I want to eat real food. And so I did, you know, all the fruits and the veggies and the grains and the legumes. And then I found myself just really wanting more. You know, I'd cut out all the processed foods, but I just found myself really wanting more. So that's when kind of I started doing a lot more research, and I went to my first Homesteaders of America conference and just started to learn about real food and real pastured meat and raw milk and dairy made with raw milk, and especially fermented dairy. And it's not bad for you, right? I mean, it's all of the bastardization that we as humans have done to food that have made it bad. But when you eat it in its best in its best raw, right, unchemicalized form, it can be beneficial to your health. And so that's what I have found. That's been my journey over the last 2 years. I mean, obviously to each his own. I support anyone who, you know, does what's best for them and their family. But I just thought I'd share that because I still do cook a lot of vegan and vegetarian recipes for my family, because there are things that I truly loved. And I didn't want to give that up. And you don't have to, right? And like I said, it really varies my family's palate, helps keep food prices down. Oh, let me go flip that quick. Okay, that is on the second flip. I think our marinade is mixed together pretty well. And you can see I just eyeballed the measurements. That's pretty good. I can tell that I'm gonna need more heat, but I can't add it here. I'll have to add it on my plate. So I'm gonna set this aside, put everything away, and then once that's done, we'll dry it off and slice it up. Okay, I'm just gonna dry these off, pat them dry a little bit. If you don't like tofu, I would recommend you try tempeh. I find tempeh has just such a better flavor. It's more hearty, kind of meaty, right? Tofu can be a little smushy. I love tempeh. We're gonna let this marinade in the refrigerator. Now you can do this the night before, and I did contemplate this last night. But I didn't want to do it. The kitchen was already clean. So you can do it up to 24 hours before. Obviously, the longer you do it, the better tasting it is going to be. I really hope all this fits. I'm not gonna shake it vigorously. I don't want to break up my tempeh pieces. But I think throughout the day I might just do this a little bit while it's in the fridge and keep everything coated in that marinade. And that's it. So I'll show you. Right? Ooh, that looks good. So I'm gonna put that in the refrigerator. I'm gonna go about my work day, and I'll see you when it's time to make dinner. Okay, so I just preheated the oven to 375. We are going to take our tempeh out, put it on a parchment-lined cookie sheet, and we're gonna bake it. So I also turned the oven off with my sauteing vegetables, just because, or not the oven, the stovetop. I just turned the stovetop off, that burner off, because I just don't want them to cook too much more, because I'm gonna be adding the rice in and the egg and making that all together. So they're softened enough. Turned that off, wait for the rice, and let's get this in the oven. Yes, it's in the dining room. These are just some chicken and vegetable pot stickers that we got at Costco. And they had minimally processed ingredients, and I thought it was just a nice, easy kind of treat on our Asian nights. But I have to tell you, this smells so good. Oh, good. Well, that's kind of you. Bon appetit. I always feel like Julia Child when I say that. I'll see you tomorrow. Hey, welcome back. Second night of our 3 Homestead dinner series for the episode this week. Guess what? It's 4:45. I know what I was going to make for dinner, but I haven't gotten to do anything yet. So this is like game time. We have some lamb rib chops. I took 4 packages. Each package has 2 of these out of the freezer last night because I was just having a hankering for lamb. So I got 8 of these lamb rib chops. I have some yellow Yukon, or I guess it's just yellow potato, Yukon Gold potatoes here from our pantry that need to be used. And so we're gonna make some deliciously creamy mashed potatoes. Maybe add some Parmesan cheese in it for like a Parmesan. And then I have 2 packages of frozen broccoli. Each package is 1 pound. And they're in like these steamable bags. We buy them at Costco, but I very rarely steam them. I actually really like to put them on a parchment lined cookie sheet and roast them. So roasted broccoli at like 400 degrees, maybe a little lemon pepper. Probably not lemon pepper tonight now that I'm thinking about it, but that lemon pepper is really good on it. Tonight will just be salt and pepper, a little olive oil. And the way we're cooking the lamb rib chops is with a mustard-thyme sauce. Does that not sound divine? So again, new recipe to me, but it's olive oil, lemon juice, thyme, pepper, salt, garlic. And then the sauce is gonna have Dijon, thyme, garlic, and some either white or red wine. So I have to open a bottle of wine. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm really hungry. So I first need to get the lamb chops marinating. It says that it needs to marinate for about 30 minutes or so. So I'm gonna get that done first, then put the potatoes in the Instant Pot. Okay.
Wait, can I have the stool for a second, Harper?
Yes, give him the stool for a sec. Actually, you might not need it. Just keep it over the bowl and press it down.
I got this.
You got it? There you go. Good job. All the juice out. Okay, so this is just thyme. I don't have fresh thyme, so it's dried thyme, salt, pepper, garlic, lemon juice, olive oil. Okay guys, I added more lamb rib chops because those 8 chops just didn't look like enough to make basically 8 meals, right? So we do dinner for 4 people and then we do lunch the next day for 4 people. So I went into the freezer and got the rest of them. and I just put them in the packet. I kept them in the package and put them in the sink with some really warm water and let them sit for about 10 minutes. And because they're such small pieces of meat, they're already pretty much almost thawed. So I'm just gonna let them sit in the marinade. I also doubled the marinade again to really make sure every piece gets excellent flavor. And so now we are going to deglaze. To make a really good sauce with all of this. I'm going to let some of the alcohol, or all of the alcohol for that matter, evaporate. And then we'll add some thyme, salt, pepper. I'm going to add the rest of this marinade here with the garlic. And Dijon mustard.
Dad, where were you?
And dinner is served. It's perfectly cooked. Oh. Goodness. Oh, this is so good. You have to make it. I'll put the recipe below. See you next time. Hey there, welcome back to the third night of our Homestead series. It is a Monday night. It's our hectic night. In fact, I have to get back to go pick up my daughter from gymnastics, so I came home really fast to get dinner going, and it is a very easy, quick dinner. So we're doing tuna melts, and we're going to be doing it on some Dave's organic whole grain bread because I'm out of my sourdough bread, and I'm not making any more right now because we are leaving to go to the Homesteaders of America conference in just a couple of days to Tennessee, to Rory Feek's farm. So I didn't want to make a loaf of bread today or yesterday knowing that we weren't going to be home most of the week. So we're going to be using Dave's organic bread tonight with tuna, mayonnaise, a little bit of relish, salt, pepper, a little bit of thyme. And then I have some dehydrated tomato slices here from last summer's garden. And I'm going to take some of these out, put them in some water, and help rehydrate them up to put them on top of the tuna melt with then some mozzarella cheese, and then throw it under the broiler. It'll be delicious. And we have some fermented pickles from last summer as well that we need to use up and eat. And as a side, we have some potato salad and macaroni salad left over from the weekend. It'll be an easy, fun dinner. So the thing that's going to make this a little bit more different for me and maybe for you is we are going to make our own mayonnaise. Truth be told, I have never done this before. I really try to show you our new experiences because maybe it's new to you as well. And I like to be truthful in how things work out. So we're going to make some mayonnaise really quick right now. And I've seen that it can be quick. And then we'll put the tuna salad together. I'll go get my kids, and then we'll come back and have dinner as a family. So let's start with the mayonnaise. So I am using Jill Winger's recipe from the Prairie Homestead website. I will link it below. And her recipe calls for 2 eggs and some neutral oil, salt, dry mustard, and lemon juice. I am actually halving the recipe because I don't entirely know how much this is going to make. If I need to make another batch, I will, but we're gonna start with 1. And I'm using my immersion blender to do this. You can do this in a food processor also, but I'm gonna do it in the immersion blender. And so I've picked a wide mouth pint jar because this goes in really easily. So I'm gonna start with 1 egg. You wanna make sure, because this is raw, right? This is a raw egg. Make sure you are using quality eggs. Whoops, don't worry, they've been washed. From a quality farm. All right, so I'm gonna blend this up first on low. I'm gonna add in 1 tablespoon lemon juice. Half a teaspoon of dry mustard. A pinch of Redmond real salt. And we're going to blend it again. Okay, and then we're going to slowly drizzle 3/4 cup of avocado oil. You want to use a neutral oil, she says. If you use like an extra virgin olive oil, that flavor of the olive oil is just a little too overpowering. So I'm going with an avocado oil. Okay, that is pretty thick. Okay, that's as much as I have time to do. So we're gonna taste it. Hopefully it tastes good. I do have some backup, I think, chosen foods like avocado mayo in the refrigerator should we need it. Tastes like mayonnaise. I've never been like a huge mayonnaise fan, but yeah, it tastes good. I like that I know what was in it, right? That I know exactly what I put in it. I like that. All right, we're gonna leave this in the jar, and now let's get our tuna fish out in the bowl and start mixing everything together. All right, the mayonnaise is gonna be the last thing I add. I'm going to add a little of the Redmond real salt, fresh ground pepper, some dried thyme. Fresh thyme I think would be delicious too. Any kind of fresh herb, really. And then I have some relish, home canned relish. My husband loves raw onion in his like chicken salad or tuna salad. So I'm gonna put half of a small onion in here chopped. Ooh, this onion is making me cry. Okay, so I think I got everything in here I want. We're just gonna put the mayonnaise in. So I would say, you know, I have the recipe, right, from Jill's website, and it made about a full cup of mayonnaise. Definitely, I did not need to make 2 cups. And however, if we weren't leaving town, I would probably make the 2 cups and then just leave it in the fridge. And I think it lasts in the fridge for probably a week, maybe a little longer. I actually didn't look at that part yet, but I know it's on her site. Okay, tuna salad's made. I'm gonna put this in the refrigerator, go get my family, and we'll come home and put dinner together. Okay, I thought this was mozzarella. It's cheddar, no difference. I'm gonna slice up some cheddar cheese. I've already got the oven on broil, and start putting the these are gonna be open-faced tuna melts together. And dinner is served. So we have our fermented pickles from last summer and our open-faced tuna melts. I'll see you next time. Stay healthy, stay well. Bye-bye.